Greetings comrades and welcome to the new video. You requested to make Slavified burgers and today we are making exactly this. We'll be making our buns from scratch. They would not be the typical buns, I mean most burgers use brioche bread. I will use just a recipe I know from my mother. It's quite easy to prepare and you see you basically have the dough in 5 minutes. You wait for it to leaven and you bake it. Also we'll prepare our own burgers. I mean we'll not buy some burgers which are just ready to roast. I will use store-bought minced meat dough, but you can mince your own meat. I mean I do that when I have the time and the desire, but I find that the one from the store, I mean the quality one, has a little bit of more fat added, which adds a little bit to the flavor. So I prefer to sometimes just to get it and to prepare burgers with the minced meat from the store. Also we'll prepare some garnishes. One of them are pickled onions, which will be the so-called rice onions. I know in McDonald's they use the rice onions. I'll just marinate them with some vinegar, sugar, salt, like a typical marinade. Also we'll prepare a nice cabbage salad. We love to eat cabbage salad, and this salad actually is called zele s mayoneza, which is translated to cabbage with mayonnaise. So instead of the iceberg or the lettuce, we'll have this cabbage with mayonnaise. We'll have pork burger, fully pork, no beef. I mean, most Slavs prefer pork either way. You can either make the burgers on a pan or you can just bake them in the oven. I've done it both ways and they turn out like great. And yeah, that's basically it. In the end we'll assemble a burger. We'll use some additional elements as pickles, ketchup, and you'll see it's turned out quite nice actually, and now you should be seeing it. With that said, let's see how to prepare the Slav burgers, as this would be quite a long video.
Що те бургери, маниги? Това е оригиналният бургер. Две парчета гаден салам с филе по средата.
We'll start the burgers by preparing the dough for our buns. You need some flour, an egg, some dried yeast. I have half a package of it, but we'll add some additional. You need some water, some sugar, and a little bit of salt. By the way, I will write the whole description of the product and the right amount in the description, so don't worry about that. Take the water and put it in a bowl. We'll put a little bit of our sugar in it, just a spoonful, and our yeast to bloom the yeast before adding it to the flour. I add some additional yeast because it looked like I need some more. And we put it aside. After that we sift our flour in a very dramatic way. Why dramatic? Because in slow motion everything is more dramatic. Explosions, sifting flour, stuff like that, you know. We put some salt in our flour just to mix it up. That's basically it. Now it's time to add the wet ingredients to our flour. Make something like a well in the middle, like a hole, so we can fill our wet ingredients. Meanwhile, take our yeast mixture, add some oil in it and the egg and mix it up. Basically now we need to mix everything into a dough. It should be like soft dough, but not so soft. If it's very soft and it sticks to your hands, just add some more flour, but mine was just the right amount, so I formed some ball of dough until it's like smooth and some of the gluten starts to develop. That's basically it. Our dough is complete. I prepared this from the day before, so I will put it in a bowl. I'll put it in a bowl with some oil and leave it in the fridge for the night. It will be very good on the next day. This is the next day and I'll be preparing the burgers. So here I have a kilogram of minced meat, beef and pork. I have 2 eggs, salt, summer savory, cumin, garlic powder, a sweet red paprika, black pepper and some breadcrumbs. I add the eggs into the minced meat. After that I add some of the spices, the salt and the pepper, and I will just mix everything with my bare hand because it's easier to mix. After that I will just add some of the other spices like the garlic powder, the cumin, the paprika and the summer savory. And yeah, this would be like kyofte, basically Slav burgers. This is how I prepare them because I like the taste. They are not the classic burgers, but they're quite tasty. But now we will prepare some Slav version of coleslaw. The the cabbage salad. We don't call it coleslaw, we call it cabbage with mayonnaise, because essentially this is cabbage with mayonnaise. Just mash the cabbage with some salt really well, so the cabbage will get soft. After it gets soft, you just put a lot of mayonnaise on top and mix it. That's it. I mean, very easy salad. It's quite Slav, but I will ruin the Slavness in it by adding some cumin seeds on top, because I like the taste of it. And we put it aside. It's ready for our burgers. And after that, we'll marinate some red onions. I'll just cut them into very small cubes. When I clean them, every cube should be very small, like the similar size of a rice grain or something like that. But yeah, well, just make sure to cut them into very small cubes. After that, you put them into a jar, like all of them, and we'll make some very easy marinade. Typically, the marinade should be boiled, but this is the lazy version. Just put 2 spoons of sugar, 2 spoons of salt, fill half of the jar with some vinegar, and the other half of the jar we would fill with some water. Close it, mix it a little bit, and it's ready, and put it in the fridge. And this is the next day. Our dough looks quite nice. And now we will form our buns. First we will split it into even parts. It will be like around 8 buns from this dough. So make sure to weight your dough, and if you want similar sized buns, just cut it into 8 balls. And after that, just form it. I form it like with this motion of the hand, like rolling the ball on the cutting board. And after we roll our buns, after we form them, I just put them into a baking tray, and I will add them aside so they can raise a little bit. In a warm place it would be better, so they can raise faster. And now it's time to form our burgers. I'll do this with my wet hands. Why wet hands? Because otherwise the meat would stick to my hand. And I form around 5 or 6 burgers, just enough for a huge meal for 3 people. Now I will beat an egg. We'll use that for our buns, for eggwash. At this point of time, they should have risen quite nicely. And I'll just put some eggwash on top of the buns, and I will put some seeds, because seeds, when they bake, they taste awesome. I add some caraway seeds, some sesame seeds, and the other seeds, yeah, I think they're called poppy seeds. And bake this in preheated oven at 190 degrees Celsius. And meanwhile, our burgers already started to cook quite nice. I'll put some capitalistic processed cheese on top, because I didn't have kashkaval, but I will add kashkaval next time. You can add cheddar on top, mozzarella, whatever cheese you enjoy. And you see that this meat is quite fatty, because yeah, it's fatty pork with some beef. It's a nice mix. And we're almost done with our burgers. I will now prepare some vegetables. I have one huge sun tomato, which goes really well with the burgers. I have 5 or 6 pickles, which would go again really nice with our burgers. And we are done with our products for the burgers. Our patties, our vegetables look quite nice. Some of the salad, I managed to eat most of it, but I have some leftovers for the burgers. We have the onions, which look quite nice and are still crispy, but in the same time tasty. And our buns are quite ready. This is quite complex recipe. It took a lot of time, but in the end the result was perfect. Now we'll assemble a burger, but before that, enjoy how perfect this bread looks. And yeah, I know these are not the perfect buns for a burger, but most of the time we eat it that way with burgers. I mean, back in the day. Now the brioche bread has taken over here, but I assure you that this bread is as perfect. I start the burger with some coleslaw on the bottom and some onions on top. On top of it, I will add some pickles. And from now I can say that this burger won't be eaten easily. It would be a huge burger. On top of the pickles, I add a burger. I add some ketchup on the top of the bun. And I will just add a huge tomato on top of the patty. I can close my burger now. And this is how our Slav burger looks like. It's quite nice. and it was very tasty, but it was like every burger, it was a mess to eat it. The Slav difficulty level of the burger is 4 out of 5 because we prepared like 10,000 things and it took me over 2 hours just to prepare the things with the shooting and with the editing. I mean, this was a huge project for me which took a lot of time, but in the end it was worth it. With that said, this was all from me, comrades, for today. I hope you enjoyed how we prepare our burgers. I hope you prepare some version of them or you just enjoy the video. Slav you next time, and now watch some other videos on the channel which will appear on the screen.
Между другото, много е вкусно. Какво?